Tippy time of Damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. Today's Behemoth build is tons of fun, simple but fun, and equally devastating with over 1200 kills in this 2065 onslaught run. It'll brute force through waves of foes, and despite the fact I'm running a double special build, I'm never shy on ammo as it's so efficient with its heavy. This is all due to our Glacier Chasm aspect. On paper, it seems a little silly to run this, but it really does play well. This gives our slide an increased speed and mobility and will allow us to shatter crystal. We pair this with the Salvation's Grip. This throws out 6 juicy crystals perfectly suited to spawn trap and onslaught. At base reserves we have 28 rounds. It's designed to hold and charge, then release to create a formation, then follow up with a non-charged shot to shatter them. However, instead we just slide to shatter. Not only do we look and feel cool, we're doubling our reserves essentially. One of these attacks does around 85k to a single target, but because of its large footprint, it can do that damage to many targets. With Concussive and Artifact, we also add a debuff for a further 15% damage. Now, like that Kool-Aid guy, oh yeah, it can be a little bit dangerous of busting through walls without knowing what's beyond them. We use a Harmonic Siphon mod to make us orbs on multi-kills and pair it with the Recuperation mod to get health bumps every time we do so. As these formations can kill up to 10 enemies at once, we can be making tons of orbs. We run fishes to increase both our damage and AoE of our shatter bursts. Hail is goated this season, as by shattering one of these crystal formations, it sends out enhanced icicles that slow and do additional damage. This makes our shatter damage more reliable, as by breaking one crystal, we will make sure we break all crystals. This is going to make our glacial grenades about 30% more effective. With Whisperer Shards, when we shatter any stasis crystal, we get a 500% boost to our grenade recharge rate. With just the tiniest of formations, we get this buff for 6 seconds, but with either our Glacial Nade or our Salvation's Grip attack, we're going to get this for 11 seconds. Every subsequent shatter extends this timer. I play this in a rotation: GL, slide, grenade, slide, GL, slide, grenade, slide. These two are just like giving the old handies to boost one another. Our Shiver Strike melee is frickin' tasty now. That Detonation Shatter adds additional functionality and AoE. It's also a great movement tool now, as we get to keep 80% of our charge on a whiff. Just know though, if you do punch a crystal, you are going to lose that melee charge. We pair this melee with that Crystalline Converter. This gets charged up as we collect stasis shards. It'll make as many as 3 icicles, and we can use this with a non-charged melee. Now our next fragment is getting a little bit slept on, but it reads odd, so I'm not all that surprised. This is going to give our melees the slow effect when we have frost armor. But considering our hunter melee is already slow, and our warlocks and titans freeze, this seems a tad daft. But what it can do is turn any of our glaives into a kind of makeshift winter bite. With one hit we can slow, and with multiple hits we can freeze. I'm using that new GM glaive, the Rake Angle with Chill Clip. This perk will do the same, 1 to slow and 2 to freeze. I'm using that Brain Freeze perk. This will surround our frozen targets with a slow cloud to make many out of 1. Now we've got several methods to achieve this effect. The Tectonic Harvest aspect will create our stasis shards whenever we shatter a crystal or frozen targets. On top of giving us melee energy, it's going to stack us up frost armor. At base 5 stacks, this is a 22.5% damage resist. With Rhyme, this jumps up to 8 stacks with a 36% damage resist, and it extends our 10-second resist out to 13 seconds, and this again extends with every subsequent shard collected. So now when we slide through our walls of ice, we get that saucy DR buff to boot. Now the exotic I chose was the Icefall mantle. If you haven't used this recently, it's had so many changes it might qualify different at the Olympics. With rapid stasis final blows, we get frost armor, virtually guaranteeing every time we slide through our stasis crystals, we'll get that max damage resist. Additionally, we heal ourselves when we do get frost armor. Now this isn't just on activation either, this is every time we pick up a shard, this is every time we get those stasis multi-kill, and this is every time we double pump and point our nips out. It's roughly around 20 HP a shard, so the more we make, the better the heals. This is going to release a snap freeze burst of stasis energy that can both slow and freeze depending on proximity. I really did enjoy using this in those transition stages to crisper those flying a-holes, tap and shatter. It works really well for those close combat glaive encounters, but just so you know, the Dynamo mod sadly won't give us bonus super energy whenever we use this alternative class ability. But we will have this up and available fairly often as we're served cold in the artifact. We get both melee and class ability energy off of our stasis shards. Armor of Eramis is a similar perk. This emits cold whenever my butt puckers, triggering whenever we hit critical health. Now every good stasis kit needs a shoddy so we can take on all 3 champ variants. If you've yet to get the new haunted shoddy, get in there now, it's the new legendary goat. I would run both an arc and stasis auto loader, as with this kit we spend a lot of time sliding around and timing our heavy attacks, so you always want to have those special weapons prepared. Now feel free to pause here for all my mods, artifacts and fragments, but there will be a dim link in the description down below. It's brutal, it's simple and it's fun. It's the ultimate in horde thrashing. This kit will still work without the Salvation's grip, but in 50 rounds and boss phases, I barely drop below half of the ammo with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below though. When was the last time you used a Cryoclasm slide in PvE? Make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time, damies, what a tie.